I went to Levine's yesterday, get some pants for me and my niggas. I was gonna steal 'em. I ain't have no money. Met a girl there, trying on some skirts. I was like, what that smell like? She was like, She didn't know what to say. I was like, bitch, don't make me ask you again. Anyway, got her number. The next day, we went to Chick-fil-A, someplace in the mall. When I got there, I was like, bitch, where are all these people at? She said, well, it's the mall. I was like, whatever, bitch. Get me a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries. I was like, bitch, what you gonna have to eat? I was like, go up there and just get me a chicken sandwich with some waffle fries. Maybe a Coke to drink or something? She said, what you gonna get? I was like, bitch, go up to the counter, tell that nigga I want a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries for free. She said, okay. Then she looked back and asked me what I wanted to drink. I was like, give me a Dr. Pepper, bitch. We got the food. She brought it to me, snatched it from me real fast. She sat down like, bitch, who told you to sit down? You better wait for my request. I said, go ahead and sit down, cunt. She sat down and we ate. Later on in the evening, took her to Silver Ball, play some video games or something. She acted like she wasn't having a good time. I said, bitch, you ain't no nerd. Look who the swine you were. She said, I like to go shopping. I was like, bitch, not on this date, because I ain't got no money. And you ain't gonna give me the money you got. She gave me her purse, took the wallet out, saw some credit cards and some pictures of some other niggas. I was like, who are these niggas? She said, that's my brother. I said, hold on, bitch. You better not have no brother, because if you do, I said, bitch, who is this nigga in this picture? She said, that's Tommy. That's my little brother. I said, bitch, you better not have no little brother. I ain't trying to deal with no other niggas. She said, well, I have two. I was like, bitch, that's a mistake. Took her to the bathroom at Silver Ball. Got through playing. I said, listen, cunt, today ain't your day. She said, what did I do? I said, bitch, you got some siblings, and I don't like it. I've been with this girl, my main bitch, for at least 3 months, and she's starting to get on my nerves. Anyway, the other day, she told me her parents was going out of town or something. Some vacation? Bull. I was like, whatever. And I was like, can I spend the night tonight and for 2 weeks straight? She said, yeah, I mean, you're my boyfriend, aren't you? I said, I guess, bitch. Anyway, I got there around 7 o'clock, pissing me off. Anyway, some of her girlfriends was over there, making popcorn and watching movies. I'm like, what y'all watching, hoes? Hoes? They said, The Legend of Bagger Vance. I was like, get that bull off the TV. I bought a couple of DVDs over. She said, what'd you bring? Dr. Zhivago, A Brief Encounter, and The Birds on the River Cry. A lean night. Anyway, it was about that time to hit the sack and get some pussy. I walked up to the bedroom. She was already laid there, butt naked, like I told her she should have been. Went out on the porch, smoked a bag of meth. Then I smoked a little crack after that. Got in. She said, you smell funny. I was like, bitch, that's just my BO. If you don't like it, I'll kill your ass. She said, okay, let's get it going. I hit that ass all night, then nutted on her belly. Anyway, got hungry in the middle of the night, picked me a sandwich or some. I went down there. Girls were still awake, watching TV. I was like, what y'all watching again, hoes? They was like, we're watching a date movie. I was like, bitch, turn that off right now. She said, okay. They turned it off real quick. I went to the kitchen, made my sandwich with mayonnaise on it, went back upstairs. I ate my sandwich in front of that bitch's face. She said, you didn't bring me nothing. I said, of course not, bitch. I ain't your man. She said, will you go upstairs and make me something? I was like, bitch, no. Took my gun out and busted her head open with the butt of it. She was starting to piss me off. She was bleeding on the sheets. I think she had some satin covers or something bull. I was like, when your parents get back, cunt. She said, 2 or 3 weeks. I said, good. I want to meet them. Whenever I do, I'm going to make them make me sandwiches all night. Anyway, got done, and I went to bed. Made her sleep on the couch downstairs. My bad. Left the next day without saying a word to anyone. I left a bag of cess in the mailbox for her parents to find. Get a little trouble. Unforgivable. What's the deal? It's your boy out here in these woods. Man, I spent the night out here with some of my niggas, man. You know, it was Bo Vice involved. Pest! My nigga Van. Anyway, we camped out here. You know what I'm saying? Bo Vice brought his little sister. Little cunt, I know she is. Anyway, Bo Vice left to get some hot dogs or something. Left us here. It was me, Van, and that cunt sister of his. In the tent, that nigga Van was asleep. I said, "Hey, Nikki." She said, "Hi." It's a kind of nervous sound. It made me pissed off. I said, "Are you a virgin still?" She said, "Yeah, I'm only 14. I said, "I don't care." I said, "You ain't going to be no virgin after tonight." She got on her cell phone and tried to call Bo Vice. I took the cell phone out of her hand and slapped that bitch in her mouth. Knocked her braces out of her mouth. She got mad, got scared, crying. I said, "Bitch, get loud again. I'll slit your throat from ear to ear." She said, "It's not that serious." Van woke up then. I said, "Go back to sleep, nigga, if you know what's good for you." Nigga, with the old dog real quick. Took out my handcuffs, cuffed her to the tent. "Listen, bitch, it's your time to lose that V card. Hand it over." She said, "I don't want." I said, "Bitch, my hand, your face. Or my gun, your mouth. I got what I wanted. Got my nut and left Van in the tent by himself. Told that bitch she didn't tell Bo Vice that Van did it. I was going to kill her ass. Now you tell me, nigga out here in these woods, is that unforgivable?"